Computer, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name
Oh,
is
Miss
Christine.
Sears?
How
Miss
are
Sears.
you?
Fine, thank you. I apologize for the delay. Can you hear me all right?
I can.
Okay, good. Thank you. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, for the delay. We just had a access issue with regards to this calendar, but we are all here. Good afternoon. My name is Judge Law, and we are going to begin with our expedited accusation calendar with the State Court of Fulton County for today, December 13th, 2024. These are criminal misdemeanor cases in which individuals were recently arrested and booked at the Fulton County Jail. Soon after being booked in, their cases were formally accused. Today would be the defendant's initial or first appearance before a judicial officer. When you hear your name called, please approach the chair in front of the computer. I will let you know what is your new case number, what are the charges brought against you, to appoint an attorney to represent you if once required, and also to set a bond. For some of you, in setting a bond, I'll be not only be looking at the allegations set forth in your case, but also your criminal record history if you have one. In setting a bond, it may possibly be possible that you qualify for what we call a signature or release bond, in which you would not have to pay for the bond today, but you would have to comply with certain conditions. Failure to comply can result in your signature bond being revoked and amended to a surety or cash bond. For those who don't qualify for a signature bond, you will receive a surety or good bond and or a cash bond. In order for you to be released, you would need to make sure that you pay for the bond out of your own pocket or through a bonding company. For those of you who receive a surety or cash bond, or if you have any other holds at the Fulton County Jail, your next court date will be December 26th at 9 a.m. And that will also be a Zoom or virtual proceeding. So anyone planning to attend that proceeding, please make sure you get a Zoom link. All right, we have some folks over here who are either family members, alleged victims, or witnesses. If you are planning to say something during the course of a case involving the defendant whom you want to address, please switch off your video, and then you can start your video when we are addressing that particular case. So Bianca Bolton, the lady in the green jacket, iPhone, Matthew Doss, switch off your video. And the another lady with iPhone, please switch off your video. If you make us switch off your video, it'll be difficult for you to start your video. So switch off your video. The lady with iPhone, Miss Bolton, switch off your video. All right, ACDC, Deputy Francois? Oh, Deputy Milton?
I think it's Deputy Francois there, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ms. McLeod. I think a couple of people were trying to reach either the deputy. So as soon as she's there,
I just spoke with her not too long ago.
okay. Miss Wright, are you still having difficulty reaching her?
Hi, Your Honor. Yes, I am. I called 3 times, but I wasn't able to speak to those two clients. So whenever another attorney is having their turn, I'd love to be able to speak to them.
Deputy Francois, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Judge.
PD Wright is trying to reach some of the her clients at ACDC. What's the best number for her to?
Yes.
If you can put in the chat to PD Anna Wright.
Judge,
What?
Judge, she's already been interviewed. Miss who is that? Miss Barbazo. She's already been interviewed by Mike McLean, so we're good. She's good.
What about Miss Beard?
Miss Beard is at Wright Street.
Ms.
She's at the
Beard,
main jail.
Ms. Beard is a site observation reset.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so Brianna Beard is going to be reset to Saturday, tomorrow, December 14th at 2 p.m. All right, thank you, Francois. We just wanted to find out, make sure that Miss Wright got a chance. Okay, courtroom 2, who do we have, please? and then we'll come to ACDC.
This is, position number 5, but before we get started, I have an announcement.
Go ahead.
Position number 11, Mr. Thomas is posted bond.
Is what?
Position number 11, Mr. Thomas posted bond.
Okay, so he's released.
Position number 12, Weaver, bond was posted.
Okay, position number 12, Troy Weaver is released. Okay. Who else?
Position 12,
Okay, thank you, Deputy. All right, who do we have in courtroom 2?
position number 5, Mr.
5.
DeMello.
Thank you. This is Valerian DeMello, accused of 2 counts of simple battery family violence from December 11th, 2024. Mr. DeMello, my name is Judge Lal. You've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney this afternoon is going to be Mr. Michael McLean. Mr. Howard, good afternoon. Any priors?
Hey, second 2021 DUI conviction.
All right, thank you. Ms. Sears, what's the state's recommendation for bond?
The state's recommendation in this case is a $2,000 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, stay away from the incident location. That is the residence at 165 Barrack Drive, Northeast, and no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while on bond.
All right, and the reason for that recommendation?
Prior to this incident occurring, the police responded to the location, and the defendant was intoxicated and was advised by the police to sleep it off. The defendant's family had contacted the police because they were concerned about his level of intoxication and his belligerent nature. And after the police left, it seems as though that advice was not adhered to. Defendant woke his son up at about 2 a.m. to sounds of arguing and fighting, where he found the defendant physically assaulting Violet DeMello, the victim in this case, and the defendant's wife and the mother of the witness in this particular case.
All right, thank you. That's good, thank you. Mr. McLean, before I proceed, is there a Violet or Valentine DeMello on Zoom who want to be heard? Assuming that Valentine's an adult, 18 and over? All right. All right, who would like to speak?
So I'm Valentine DeMello, and I have my mom here with me, who's Violet DeMello. So
All
she
right.
doesn't speak good English, so I'll speak on behalf of her.
All right, Mr. DeMello, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly, just Mr. DeMello, do you solemnly swear and affirm the information you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
I do.
Okay, and what language do you all speak?
I speak English, but we speak Konkani. It's an Indian
Konkani?
language.
Okay, understood. And what would you like to tell us, Mr. DeMello? Valentine DeMello.
Yes, so my dad, he's a nice person. He's brought us up. He's given us the opportunities, and we do love him very much. It was very unfortunate that the situation got to the stage where it was physical. We are still trying to understand and go through and process what happened. And it's a big change, especially for my mom, especially because she's very much dependent on him. She's a homemaker, and she cannot speak or navigate by herself. But we do wish that he changes and he gets better. And
Is she comfortable? Is she comfortable with him being back living in the same house with her?
तो gara ilar comfortable, huh? She's scared.
Okay, even I understood that. Okay, and does your father have another place to live?
Not that I know of. He has acquaintances, but I think he would be in a better position to answer that.
All
But
right.
we don't have direct family here.
All right. Is your father a resident of Georgia?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Mr. DeMello. Appreciate your input. Please mute your screen.
Yeah.
Mr. McLean, anything else to add?
Yes, Your Honor. My client, Mr. DeMello, has worked at Yellow Chili Restaurant for many years. I noticed it on the computer back in 2019. That was probably that 2021 DUI case, I guess. I'm guessing that it was a 2019 occurrence when I saw the Yellow Chili listed as his employer. Still is. He has friends. He has his supervisors at the restaurant. He felt confident when I interviewed him at the jail. He was reset from yesterday because he had to go to Grady, but he's fine now. So he felt that it would be very doable for him to have a place to live through his friends, between his supervisor's ability, even though he didn't have any phone numbers. I get onto all my clients about their phone numbers, but he felt that he wouldn't have any trouble reaching friends through the phone numbers that his supervisors have and finding a place to stay. This isn't a situation, right? We would ask the court to consider a signature bond, as the previous case was several years ago.
All right, and Mr. McLean, is there a language barrier between you and Mr. Valerian DeMello?
As long as we go slow, no.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Valerian DeMello, your bond on each count is going to be $1,500. That's a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial services. This is a signature bond in which you would not have to pay for the bond today, but you will have to comply with the conditions in order to maintain your bond. If you violate the conditions of this bond or bail, you will be rearrested and brought back to jail, and your bond will be revoked and amended to either a cash bond or a surety bond, which means that you must comply with the conditions in order to avoid a future arrest. Do you understand, sir?
Say it again.
Yes.
Okay. The conditions of your bond are as follows. No further contact with Violet DeMello, which means that you have to stay 200 yards away from Miss Violet, not communicate with her in any way, form, or manner. You're to stay away from her in person and also indirectly through a third party, through a phone, through a computer, even on social media. Do you understand, sir?
Yes.
You are to have no further violent contact with Valentine DeMello. You can speak with him, you can communicate with him, as long as there's no physical or verbal altercations between you and Valentine DeMello. You are to refrain from consuming any illegal drugs, no alcoholic beverages, and you're not allowed to own any weapons or firearms. You will report to the pretrial services twice a month. This is a level 2 reporting. And you will be subject to random screens for alcohol and or illegal drugs. If you fail a screen, in other words, you test positive for alcohol and or illegal drugs, your bond will be revoked and you'll be sent back to jail. Do you understand, sir?
Yes.
You are to stay away from 165 Berwick Drive in Atlanta, Georgia, which I understand is your marital home. You are allowed a one-time visit with a police officer to go home and pick up your personal belongings, but within 30 days, you must update the court with your new mailing address. Do you have any questions about that?
No.
Was that a no?
No.
Yes or no?
No.
Okay. The last condition is that within 30 days of being released from the Fulton County Jail, you will enroll in a qualified domestic violence intervention program. You can Google on family violence intervention programs, or you can ask pretrial to give you a list of qualified programs where you have to enroll and attend all 26 classes. These are weekly classes, and you must attend each class, paying for it out of your own pocket and not skipping any class. Do you understand? And at the end of the program, you have to give your certificate to your pretrial officer. Even though you complete the classes, this will still remain an open, active case, and the no contact, the stay away, and no alcohol are conditions that will remain in place until there's a final outcome of your case. Do not violate these conditions, otherwise you'll be back in jail.
Well,
Thank you.
Number 3, Mr. Craig.
Right. After Mr. Craig, who is first at ACDC?
This will be position number 1, Barboza.
Okay, I'll be with her shortly. Thank you. Mr. Jimmy
you.
Lee Craig is accused of hit and run, failure to stop or return to the scene of the accident, improper erratic lane change, no insurance, and driving on a suspended, cancel, or revoked registration from November 23rd, 2024. Mr. Craig, you've been advised of your right to remain silent. Your accusation is 24 CR 8140J. Your attorney is going to be Miss Anna Wright. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
Second.
7
Last arre-
cycles?
No, second, number 2.
Second,
Last,
okay.
last arrest was in Cobb last month. Theft by receiving and obstruction. That's open.
Thank you. Miss Sears, what's the recommendation?
A $4,000 surety bond and no further contact with the victim in this case. Navy Obukiri. Obukiri.
All right. Miss Wright, anything to add?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Craig is 20 years old. He is fully employed, full-time employed at Wendy's. He did graduate from high school. He does live with his longtime girlfriend, Shamari. We would ask for a signature bond on this case. And as to the contact with the complaining witnesses, he doesn't know who they are, so that would not be a problem.
All right. On the hit and run, that's going to be 1,500. Erratic lane change is 500. No insurance is 1,000. And suspended registration is 500. That's going to be 3,500 signature bond through 312 services, level 1. No driving unless he has a valid driver's license, adequate insurance, and proper registration for the vehicle that he occupies. He must maintain a current and accurate mailing address with the courts at all times. Do you have an correct address for Mr. Craig?
I believe I do, Your Honor, yes.
Well, let's see. I have 255 Hamilton Court. Is that the correct address? Mr. Craig?
yes, ma'am.
Is there an apartment or unit number?
It's a condo, I think a house condo.
You think? You don't
It's
know
a-
your own house?
It's a house.
So is there an apartment or unit number?
No, no. ma'am.
Okay. If you change your address, make sure you let us know that in writing, because if you fail to show up in court, this 3,500 signature bond will be revoked and amended to a surety bond or a good bond. Make sure that you report to pretrial once a month. And if you get pulled over again in violation of this bond order, your signature bond will be revoked. Make sure you may come back to court when summoned. Thank you. Oh, and no contact with the victim in this case. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge Law, can you repeat those bond amounts, please?
Sure. Hit and run is 1,500. Erratic lane change is 500. No insurance is 1,000. And suspended registration is 500. 3,500. Did I add that correctly?
That's correct.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
All right. ACDC, we have position number 1, Nathalia Barboza, accused of battery, family violence, simple battery, family violence, and cruelty in the 3rd degree. Case 24 CR 8133Y from December 12, 2024. Ms. Barboza, you have been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Miss, is it Miss?
It's Mike McLean.
Mr. McLean. Mr. McLean. All right, this is a first arrest. Ms. Sears, any recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor, we're requesting a $3,000 surety bond, that there be no further violent contact with Matthew Doss. and that she stay away from the incident location. That location is 6889 Glen Lake Parkway, Northeast in Sandy Springs, Georgia. While on bond, that she have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and that custody exchanges in this particular case take place at the Sandy Springs Police Department. If I could provide the court with the facts supporting defendant's arrest in this case.
All right, the alleged facts. Yes, go ahead.
This case are that the defendant was engaged in a custody exchange, and present at this exchange was the victim, Matthew Doss, and their 6-year-old minor child. As Mr. Doss was attempting to put the car seat in the defendant's vehicle, she began yelling and struck him several times because she did not want him to see the interior of his vehicle. Officers observed a scratch, redness, and swelling to Mr. Doss's face on the left side near his eye. Again, their 6-year-old daughter was present and witnessed these events, which occurred on her birthday. The defendant, during the investigation, admitted that she argued with Mr. Doss because he wanted to look inside her vehicle and she did not want him to. She told police again that she was present at the location to pick her up and was attempting to prevent him from installing the car seat in her new vehicle because he doesn't allow her near his property.
He does not allow what?
He does not allow her near his personal property.
I see. Okay, thank you. Matthew Doss, if you are present, if you would like to contribute to the proceedings, you're free to unmute and start your video. Otherwise, we'll proceed without, there we go. All right. Mr. Doss, please unmute.
Hello.
Hello, and now remove your hat. Thank you much. All right. Would you like to say anything?
As far as me not allowing her
Go
to-
ahead and raise your right hand. I need to place you under oath. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge? Yes, sir.
Yes.
What would you like to tell me?
That is true to an extent of what you're referring to about me not wanting her near my car. That happened one time about 6 months ago.
I'm not here to dispute who is going to let who near a car. Are you comfortable having contact with Ms. Barboza and continuing the child transfer?
Yes.
All right. Mr. McLean, thank you, Mr. Doss. You're free to go. You're free to mute your screen. Thank you. Mr. McLean, anything else?
Your Honor, she is in the nursing profession, so that speaks both to her education and her employment. Nothing much to add, Your Honor. I would think that a signature bond would be sufficient.
All right, thank you. Is your client married to Mr. Doss? No?
Good question. We had, because of the logistics of today, it was a brief interview. I said, once I found out you're a nurse, I don't even
No
have
problem.
to.
Ms. Barboza, I just need to know whether you are married to Mr. Doss and or whether the child was born during wedlock.
So we just got divorced on October 31st. And
Okay, was the child born while you were married?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. You can put your hand down. That's all I needed to know. Thank you. On the battery family violence, that's going to be $2,500. On the simple battery and the cruelty are going to be $500 each. That's a total bond of $3,500. It's going to be a signature bond through pretrial services level 1. Ms. Barboza, I'm going to give you a signature bond, which means you won't have to pay for your bond today, but you will have to comply with the following conditions. The first condition is no further violent contact with Matthew Doss. There cannot be any physical or verbal altercations with Mr. Doss from this point onwards. If you're not happy with the way the situation, the parenting plan is going, in which you both exchanged the child in front of the, the Sandy Springs, wherever y'all exchanged the child, then y'all are definitely going to have to do an alternative way, which I'm about to direct. Any transfer of your child with Mr. Doss shall take place through a third party. So you and Mr. Doss must select a third party, whether it's a friend or a family relative, who will pick up the child and drop off the child. But you and he will not be doing the third party transfer. Do you understand? You are to stay away from where he lives, which was, I think it was the Bloom Lake, or I don't remember the address.
Glen Lake?
6 Glen Lake Parkway.
All right. So you, Ms. Barbosa, you're to stay away from that location. You're not to go to that location, all right? But otherwise, y'all can have communication via phone, text, or even in person, as long as there's no physical or verbal altercations. If there are any altercations and the police get involved, you will be back in jail. They'll arrest you and then ask questions later. Understood? No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, and no firearms. And you are to enroll in a domestic violence intervention program within 30 days of being released from the Fulton County Jail. You will enroll in such a program and attend all 26 weeks of classes at your expense. This is not a adjudication of the case. This is just a condition of your bond.
Okay.
And make sure that you present your certificate of completion to your pretrial officer at the end of the classes. Your next court date will be mailed to your current mailing address. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Courtroom 2, who do we have next?
Number 6,
Darian Garnett.
yes.
Okay. Mr. Garnett is accused of battery, family violence, and willful obstruction of an officer from 24 CR 8137F. Incident is October 14th, 2024. Mr. Garnett, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is going to be Miss Anna Wright. Any prize, Mr. Howard?
Third arrest, 2024 criminal damage to property obstruction. That's open in Superior Court. It's 24 PI 006990.
Thank you.
Got an open battery DV disorderly conduct battery out of DeKalb County from this year. That's it.
From what year?
Which is
What year was the DeKalb County case?
this year.
This year? Okay, so 2 open cases from this year. Thank you. Miss Sears?
Yes, the bond recommendation in this case is a $5,000 cash bond. The defendant has violated the terms of his previous bond set on September 23rd of 2024 in Fulton Superior Court. Despite this, the victim does want contact. I believe she may be on the call and is requesting no violent contact. If I could give the court some background into
Please.
the alleged facts.
Please.
Officers responded to a domestic dispute at 8060 Adair Lane in Sandy Springs. The 911 caller was identified as the victim, Sayana Vaughn, before that call was disconnected. A third party then called 911 and advised that she heard a woman screaming for help and provided the incident address and the unit number 2610. And then Vaughn made another 911 call and reported that the defendant was trying to kill her. When officers arrived, an officer observed who he later identified as the defendant, Mr. Garnett, on the sidewalk near the entrance to unit 2610, and that person fled on foot, disobeying commands given to stop running and escaping through the wood line. Officers did not pursue due to possibility of a weapon. Officers returned to the incident location and observed redness and abrasions to Ms. Vaughn's neck, which were consistent in their knowledge, training, and experience with strangulation. Mr. Garnett was later identified as a person who obstructed by running from the incident location. From the ring camera video recorded on the incident date, 10/14/24, and from prior photo identification at the previous arrest in September of this year.
All right. Ashante Bond, if you're on Zoom, please put your dog down.
He's gonna bark. So
Put him down.
give me a minute.
ACDC, who do you have next up there? Oh, well, okay. All right. Miss, remove your hoodie, remove your hat. You're in a courtroom.
Oh, ponytail.
Okay, good. Lift your phone and put it in front of you.
The iPad.
Okay, all right, good. Thank you. Ms. Vaughn, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
All right. How do you know Darian Garnett?
He's my boyfriend.
And how long have you known him?
We've known each other for a few years.
Where does he live?
He has a apartment in Buckhead.
Okay. What would you like to tell me?
Honestly, in this situation, this was just like a misunderstanding. I was actually very intoxicated that night, so I don't even recollect making that 911 call. We didn't really have any violent interaction. We were just arguing.
What do you recollect from that evening?
Like I said, I was drinking. I was celebrating my birthday the day before, so I was actually pretty much drunk the whole Sunday going into the Monday. We were arguing, and then that was it, and he left my apartment.
You were arguing?
Yeah.
About what?
Just something that I think wasn't even that serious, honestly. It was just words that we exchanged. I do remember that.
$3:26 a.m. All right, let me see what the officer says. Right, it was your birthday. You had gone out for dinner with him. Slightly intoxicated. Lives at the location on and off. Okay, thank you. All right, thank you, Ms. Vaughn. You may mute your screen. Ms. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor. I understand that the state charged it as family violence, but they don't live together. They don't have any children together. So I would ask that the court strike that or dismiss the family violence portion. We don't have very many details from the complaining witness. I would ask that this be a signature bond. He does work part-time at Chili's. He just started on Wednesday. He did complete 2 years in college at Virginia State. And again, they do not live together. He lives at 3200 Lenox Road, apartment F318.
Mm-hmm.
That is all, Your Honor.
All right. On the battery family violence, that's going to be 2,500, and the willful obstruction is going to be 500. Total bond is 3,000. That's a surety bond. He's already had a round with a UJR, and I'm not sure if they're going to comply. So this is going to be a surety bond. Mr. Garnett, your next court date is going to be December 26th if you do not make bond. You originally had a bond order requiring you to have no further violent contact with Ashante Bond. Well, as we can see, that didn't quite work out for you. So from this point onwards, it's going to be no further contact with Ashante Bond. It is your responsibility to make sure you stay 200 yards away from Miss Vaughn. You do not communicate with her in any way, form, or manner, including in person, through a third party, mail, email, phone, and social media, and that you stay 200 yards away from her location at Adair Lane, which you were already required to do so anyways from your previous bond order, and that you absolutely are not seen within 200 yards of the entire complex where Miss Vaughn lives. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons. And we will see you on December 26th unless you bond out. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next, Judge, we have position number 14, Williams.
This is State versus, oops, let me get to that right page. Ashley Williams, accused of battery family violence from December 12th of this year. Ms. Williams, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is Ms. McLeod. Any prize, Mr. Howard?
Third arrest, 2023 possession of marijuana, 2022 sale of marijuana, conditional discharge. It was later dismissed after that.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Hughes?
Your Honor, we're asking for a $1,000 signature bond through pretrial, no contact, and stay away.
All right.
The incident location.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Circle.
Repeat that, please.
The incident location is 659 U Toy Circle, Atlanta, Georgia.
All right. Ms. McLeod, any objection with the stay away and the no contact?
Yes, Your Honor. She's going to need at least a one-time police escort back to the location because her child is there, for one thing. And she has belongings which she needs to retrieve. But she did tell me that she has somewhere she can stay. The alleged victim is her mother, just to put context to all of this.
Yeah, I read the warrant, so I'm just curious to know whether, is there Deborah Williams on the Zoom who wants to contribute to the proceedings? Deborah Williams, if you're present, you can unmute and start your video.
I tried to call her, Your Honor, but I did not make contact.
All right. All right, no one's responding. On the battery family violence, that's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial services, level 1. No further contact with Deborah Williams. You're allowed a one-time visit to 659 Utoy Circle to retrieve your child and your personal belongings. You must make sure that that one-time visit is with a police officer. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. And I want you to complete 3 anger awareness classes with pretrial services while you're reporting once a month. Thank you.
Thank you, Your
To
Honor.
confirm, Judge, the dollar amount is 2,000.
2,000 signature bond to pretrial level 1. And one more thing, within 30 days of being released from Fulton County Jail, you are required to come down to the clerk's office at 160 Prior Street and update your mailing address with your new mailing address with the court, since it can't be Utoy Circle anymore. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Courtroom 2, who do we have?
Number 8, Jackson.
This is State versus Marquis Jackson, accused of 1 count of simple battery and 4 separate counts of terroristic threats and acts. That's a total of 5 misdemeanor charges from October 15th of this year. The accusation number is 24 CR 8129E. Mr. Jackson, you've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is Mr. McLean. Mr. Howard, any priors?
This is fourth adult arrest. Last arrest was December 8th. Sale of marijuana out of Coweta County. Possession of a Schedule 1 or 2 with intent. Possession of a knife or firearm during the commission. That's also open out of Coweta. Suspended license out of Harris County. 2024 FTA.
Where's the FTA from?
I don't know. I didn't look it up. I just
Okay.
saw the arrest and kept going.
I show Harris County.
I'm sorry, Ms. Sears, from where?
Harris County as the
Yes.
FTA.
Okay, thank you. And Ms. Sears, what's your recommendation?
$4,000 signature bond, no further violent contact with the victims, and anger management, anger awareness classes while on pretrial.
All right, thank you. Mr. Jackson, due to your failure to appear, just from this year alone, you don't qualify for a signature bond. On the simple battery, it's going to be 1,000. The terroristic.
Let me
Oh, I'm
tell
so
you.
sorry, Mr. McLean. I'm so sorry. Go ahead. He doesn't qualify for a signature bond, but I was going to go with a $3,000 surety bond.
Oh, I understand. Your Honor, he's a person who's been educated with 2 years of college. He has an associate's degree in psychology. He tells me he does occasionally suffer from major depression. I think they've kind of worked this problem out, their neighbors, and I think the problem won't continue, Your Honor. So the lowest bond possible the court could stand to have would be what we would request.
That is the lowest bond I can go with. How far does he live from these neighbors? I didn't see that.
They're probably abutting properties, I would think.
My understanding from the case documents is that they are next door neighbors.
Are any of these neighbors on Zoom right now?
Your Honor, the neighbors were contacted and they do agree that there is no further animus between them, that they have come to some agreement about this, and that there is no concern about violence or further violent contact. So we ask that it be no violent contact.
Jabbar Gundy is one of them. I'm sorry, I didn't write down the names of these individuals, but I have Jabbar Gundy. I have Valencia. Oh my goodness. Jabbar Gundy, Naikim Brown, Valencia Gundy, Derek Williams. These are the four I have. Are those the four that you have?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Any of them on Zoom? No? Okay. As I was saying, Mr. Jackson, due to your open cases in Coweta County and your failure to appear in Harris County, you don't qualify for a signature bond. On the simple battery, it's going to be 1,000. On the each count or terroristic threats is going to be 500 each. Your total bond is 3,000. That is a surety bond. Your next court date is going to be December 26th. No further violent contact with Jabbar Gundy, Gundy, Valencia Gundy, Naikim Brown, and Derek Williams. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons and no firearms. If you own any firearms, they must be surrendered to the police for destruction. Thank you.
Position. Mr. Todd,
Repeat the number.
hold on. Mr.
He's on the add-on. You said Jordan Todd?
Okay, he's Adam.
Okay. This is are you Mr. Jordan Todd?
Yes, ma'am.
Your case number is 24 CR 8111F, accused of four misdemeanor charges, 2 counts of simple battery and 2 counts of simple battery family violence. You have been advised of your rights and your attorney is Mr. McLean. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
I got first.
Okay. Ms. Sears, do you concur?
Give me one moment. I did not show this on my calendar for today. I may be.
It was an add-on, this situation.
I believe
He was
it's,
on yesterday's calendar, but we were told that he posted bond, but he's still in jail.
Yeah, he posted bond on yesterday. When he got ready to bond out, the additional charge had popped up.
Okay, I didn't do the C calendar yesterday. That was Judge Morrow, so let me see what's going on.
So he never had a bond hearing, Judge, because we were told he posted bond, but the holdup was there was an extra charge that was added, a simple battery family violence charge.
Okay,
There was no bond attached to that charge, so they couldn't let him be released.
I see. Ms. Diaz, do you have any objection to $1,000 signature bond through the jail?
Your Honor, just double check this. One moment. I appreciate the court's indulgence.
No problem.
We're asking for $4,000 sign-on bond through pretrial.
No,
No
he's
drugs or
already,
alcohol.
I'm sorry, he's already received a $3,000 surety bond, which he has posted. So
Okay.
you have we have account 4, a simple battery that doesn't have a bond. I'm asking whether, do you have any objection to $1,000 signature bond through the jail? Just to keep the
No.
release clean.
No objection.
All right. On this additional charge, it's going to be $1,000 signature bond through the jail. So his total bond is going to be a $4,000 split bond. Same conditions apply as the previous bond. And Mr. Todd, since you've already posted bond, please make sure that you maintain a current address with the court and that you have no violent contact with the alleged victims in this case. If you get arrested again, you could lose the bond that you presently have. Thank you.
So that's 1,000 SOB jail.
Jail on the 4th charge.
The rest bonded out. Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
What's your contact?
I don't, since he posted bond, I'm just telling him no further violent contact.
Okay.
Position number 13 is next.
This is State versus Dustin Whitener, accused of battery from December 10th, 2024, accusation 24 CR 8138D. Mr. Whitener, you've been advised of your rights and your attorney is Ms. McLeod. Any prize, Mr. Howard?
Got 18 on probation, criminal damage to property, 2nd degree. 2024 probation, 2016 charge related to CWAC, 2013 entering auto. That's it.
Ms. Sears?
Your Honor, we're asking for a $2,000 surety bond. Stay away from the location. No contact with the victim. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond.
All right. Mr. McLean?
It's me, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. McLeod. So sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, the state is asking for a surety bond, Your Honor, but my client is not in a position to pay for a surety bond. He has not been employed for approximately 8 months, and he also tells me that he's homeless. So anything short of a signature bond, he's just going to be sitting in jail. So I would ask the court to take that into consideration in setting his bond. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Whitener, I do understand your position at the present time, but we also have to take into consideration the allegations set forth and the fact that you have a significant criminal record history. The bond is set at 1,000. It's a surety bond. Next court date is December 26th. No further contact with Daniel Ortega. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. That concludes my business before the court today. May I be excused?
Yes, Ms. McLeod, have a good weekend. Thank you.
You too, Your Honor. Thank you.
Position 4, Dixon.
This is Jacob Dixon, accused of criminal trespass from December 12th, accusation 24 CR 8131J. Mr. Dixon, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Ms. Wright. Okay,
I got
any prize?
first.
Okay.
I got
thank you.
first resident of South Carolina.
All right. And Miss Sears?
And we're asking for a $1,000 signature bond and stay away from the incident location.
And sorry, I can read the warrants, but I don't memorize every single location. Would you happen to have that? Or let me see, may still be open. Oh, the Avalon Boulevard. Is it the Avalon stores? All those places?
And hotel.
Okay, thank you. You know, this is not the first case we've gotten from the Avalon Hotel. At this rate, that hotel will go out of business. Okay. Mr. Dixon, your bond is going to be set at 1,500. It's a signature bond through the jail. You are to stay away from the Hotel Avalon and the entire Avalon complex in Alpharetta, Georgia. You are allowed to go back to the hotel one time only with a police officer to retrieve your belongings from the lobby if they're still there. If they're not there, then you'll be required to vacate the premises immediately. This is an open, active case against you in Fulton County, Georgia. So please make sure you maintain a current address with the court and that you will be summoned back to court in the future, most likely via Zoom. If you plan to retain counsel, please do so at your earliest convenience. Thank you.
Number 7, Howard.
Carday Howard is accused of 2 counts of possession of a pistol or revolver by a person under the age of 18 from December 12, 2024. Case number 24CR8130A. Mr. Howard, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Ms. Wright. Ms. Sears, what's the recommendation?
Asking for a $1,000 surety bond on each count, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond.
All right. Ms. Wright?
Your Honor, this one's really hard. I'll put that out there first. I spoke to my client who's 17 years old. I believe that means that his mom would have to sign him out. I asked him about the guns and what happened that day. He told me that there was some kind of warrant where they searched his whole house. He's obviously not the owner of the house. And 2 guns were found in his room. When I asked him who owned those guns, he told me that one of them belonged to his mom. When I asked him why he was in his room, he let me know it was because it was originally in his mom's room. But his little brother, 10-year-old little brother, was playing in that room. And he was very afraid that his little brother would injure himself. There is no gun safe, so he took the gun into his room. He also told me that about a year ago, his little brother was injured by a gun. And it was Carday who found him and stayed with him until the ambulance came. He's clearly traumatized from it. When I asked him about the second gun, he let me know that it was his uncle's. His uncle had left it in the house. And again, he did not want weapons around the house that his little brother could possibly get into. So they were in his room for safekeeping because there was nowhere else where he felt like his little brother could stay away from them.
Thank you. What's your bond recommendation, though? This is a firearm-related matter.
I understand, Your Honor. I mean, I would ask for a signature bond. I'm not sure that he would be eligible for that. They're not his guns. I think his mom is on right now. But it seems quite unfair that he would have to bear the brunt for trying to do something, the safest thing available to him as a child himself. I understand that we treat him as an adult in this courtroom, but everywhere else, he is just a child in the custody of his mother.
Understood. He's not 7 years old. That much I do know. Thank you, Ms. Wright. Who is the mother of Carday Howard? And the prosecution should pay attention to this, please.
Hello, I'm the mother of Cardi Howard.
All right, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And your name is?
Marquita Bolton.
Marquita Bolton.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Bolton, your son is charged with possession of 2 firearms apparently located in his bedroom
Yes,
within
ma'am.
his reach, one of which is loaded apparently with 11 rounds in it. Which gun do you own?
The Glock 43X.
And who owns the Taurus?
I'm not sure.
There are 2 firearms, one of which is loaded in the bedroom from where a previous incident, your other son was injured by a gunshot wound. Now, I'm going to ask you one more time. Who owns the other firearm?
I honestly don't know. I don't own that. I only have the Glock 43X that's in my name.
So you have another firearm in your home and you don't know who owns it?
I wasn't sure. I didn't know he had left it. I don't know. I didn't even know the uncle came. I didn't know nothing about that part until now. That was just a surprise to me. I didn't even know that it was downstairs because
Who is this uncle?
who me? You asking me?
Who is this uncle?
I'm not sure which uncle it is. He has 4 uncles, so I'm not sure. I honestly don't know.
Give me their names.
We have Nicholas Bolton,
Nicholas Bolton,
Xavier Bolton.
Xavier Bolton.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Johann Bolton.
So how you spell that? Johann?
Yes.
And who's the 4th one?
Who I name? Nick, Johann, and Johnny
Who?
Bolton. Johnny Bolton.
Johnny Bolton.
What he said.
So you own the Glock and one of them owns the Taurus?
Yeah, yes, I'm not sure if that's the uncle he's speaking of. Can he speak and tell you? Because this is my first time hearing this part.
No, he has a right to remain silent. Anything he says in open court can and will be used against you in the treatment of your case. The fact that one of the firearms is in his room, apparently because of the safety issues in your home, the fact that these firearms are not secured away from minors, and given the fact that allegedly in the past year there's been a gunshot wound, I'm not sure how the prosecution is going to view your particular situation as to whether you're contributing to the delinquency of a minor.
I'm definitely not. I'm a single mother of 4 boys.
Miss Bolton, I'm just letting you know right now, you are not exactly in a secure position right now. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
All right. What else would you like to tell me about Carday?
Carter, he's a good kid. He get involved with the friends and want to be, with them or whatever. And I honestly don't know because he has a baby. He has a 3-month-old baby that I'm raising, that stays with us. And I be all over the place, honestly. I be trying to see about my 14-year-old, my 13-year-old, and my other 2 kids as well. I honestly don't know. Like, he goes off where he goes, I don't know, but he's not home all the time. So I just try my best to keep tabs on them, but things happen and I honestly just be trying my best to keep him afloat with us. You know what I'm saying? Trying to keep him,
Why
on
is
the
your
right track.
gun in his bedroom?
That's what I'm saying. It was in my closet on the top, in my closet behind my printer in the top shelf corner.
So he got the gun and kept it in his bedroom? Are you saying that's what he did?
I'm assuming that's what happened because when they came, I told them exactly where it was at, and they said it wasn't there.
Okay, that's all I need to know. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Howard, I appreciate the fact you're trying to secure your home because apparently your mother can't do it right. I am very sorry that you have a gun owner in your home who doesn't know how to secure firearms. So, but unfortunately, you made a very, very bad judgment call to take that matters into your own hands because number 1, you're underage, and number 2, You are not responsible for the negligence of your mother in failing to secure loaded firearms in your own home. I seriously hope the prosecution is looking into this to press charges against Marquis Bolton and any of the other gun owners of this Taurus. I seriously hope so. But in the meantime, based on the seriousness of the lack of judgment, not only on the part of your mother, but because of you, I hope they're able to afford to bond you out. Your bond is going to be $1,000. It's going to be a $2,000 surety on total. You are not allowed to live anywhere where there are firearms in your home, on your person, in your bedroom, in your vehicle, or anywhere near you. If you get arrested again with even a toy gun anywhere near you, I wouldn't have any problem signing a warrant for your arrest to be back in jail. You are not allowed to have any kind of firearm anywhere near you. And Miss Bolton, if you want to make sure that you don't get into trouble, I highly recommend you start searching your home from top to bottom in any crevice, every particular spot that's available, and you're required to surrender all your firearms to the police for destruction. Because in my personal opinion, you are not fit to have a gun in your possession. Thank you.
Thank
Next
you.
court date is December 26th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Position number 9, Ms. Kim.
Position number 9? Okay. This is Eugene Kim, accused of battery, family violence, and simple battery, family violence. Mr. Kim, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. McLean. Any priors, please?
I got 8. I didn't see any violence. I just saw drug and driving arrest.
When were the last arrests?
I did not make a note of it. Let me look it up.
Okay. So he's 30, 32, 33? Just had a birthday, which is
2019,
today.
2019 driving without a valid license.
All right, thank you. Ms. Sears?
Your Honor, we're asking for a $2,000 surety bond on the charges of family violence, battery, and simple battery, family violence. No contact with the victim, Miss Mi Yang Kim, and to stay away from their residence at 1225 Overton Drive, and that he had no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond.
Okay. Ms. Kim, if you are present on Zoom, if you want to contribute to the proceeding, this is the time. I don't see, I see an iPhone, but I have no idea who that is. Okay. Mr. McLean? I'm sorry, you're on mute, sir?
Thank you, Your Honor. He is educated through high school. He's originally from Maryland, but he's been in Georgia for quite a few years, 7 years. And he is a graduate of Ellicott, Maryland's Mount Hebron High School. He's also been to college for a year taking accounting courses. He works at Stratfix, which is, I'm probably mispronouncing that, a programming company which programs computers and deals with electronic equipment in various ways. He asked the court to consider a signature bond if that is possible, Your Honor, given the lack of violent crimes in his arrest history. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Kim, I do understand that the other individual, Mi Yang Kim, is your mother and that you all probably live together. But unfortunately, due to the situation, and since she is not here to advocate for you in any other capacity, your bond and your conditions are going to be set as follows. On the battery, family violence is going to be $2,500. On the simple battery is going to be $1,000. That's going to be a $3,500 signature bond through pretrial services, level 2. You will report to pretrial services twice a month. You are to enroll in a domestic violence intervention program within 30 days of being released, and you will attend every class without skipping it at your expense. Make sure you provide the certificate of completion to your pretrial officer. This will still remain to be an open, active case against you, so you need to maintain good contact information with us. From after today, you're to have no further contact with me, Yang Kim, if I'm not mistaken, that's the name. Yeah. You are to stay away from 11705, excuse me, correct that. You are required to stay away from 11705 Medlock Bridge Road in Johns Creek, which is the Musa Salon and Spa. And you're also to stay away from the Overton Drive, 1225 Overton Drive location. You may go to the Overton Drive location one time only with a police officer to retrieve your belongings. Within 30 days of being released, you must update the court with your new mailing address. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons and no firearms. And remember to report to court when summoned. Thank you.
Number 10, Mr. Pack is away.
Repeat that. 10, Kenneth Pack. What was the announcement?
He waived.
We waive the presence, Your Honor.
All right.
That we can go ahead and have the hearing, but he doesn't desire to be there.
All right, Kenneth Pack is accused of possession and use of drug-related objects and criminal trespass, 24 CR 8135C. Mr. Pack is represented by Mr. McLean, and who has waived his presence. Any priors on Mr. Pack?
35. He got a lot of trespass.
Understood. Thank you. And Ms. Sears, any recommendation?
We're requesting a $2,000 surety total. Stay away from the incident location at 641 West Peachtree Street. That's the MARTA station. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons. And while on bond, one social worker visit.
Mr. McLean, are you planning to have him considered for evaluation?
Yes, Your Honor. Let me chat there. Yes, Your Honor, I do.
All right, thank you. On the drug-related objects, it's going to be 500. The criminal trespass is 1,000. The total bond is set at 1,500. That's a surety bond. To stay away from all MARTA property. Next court date is December 26th. No illegal drugs and alcohol and weapons. And hopefully he will have the social worker visit and a possible evaluation. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else in courtroom 2? No? Okay. Let's go over the calendar. Position number 1 was 3,500 signature bond through pretrial, level 1 with a DVIP requirement. Position 2 is reset to December 14th at 2 p.m. Position 3 is the 3,500 signature bond through pretrial, level 1. Position 4, Dixon, is a 1,500 signature bond through the jail. Position 5 is a 3,000 signature bond through pretrial, level 2, with a DVIP requirement. Position 6, Garnett, is a $3,000 surety bond, reset December 26th. Position 7, Howard, is a $2,000 surety bond, reset date December 26th. Position 8, Jackson, is a $3,000 surety bond, reset date is December 26th. Position 9, Kim, is a 3,500 signature bond through pretrial, level 2 with a DVIP requirement.
What's the contact?
No contact with me, MEEH, Yang, YANG, last name Kim, and stay away from Overton Drive and the Musa something salon.
Thank you.
Position 10, Pack, is a 1,500 surety bond, reset. Is December, Mr. McLean, I'm going to reset it to the 26th, 11 a.m. calendar.
Okay.
So that would be for position 10, December 26th at 11 a.m. I don't know if we're having 11 a.m. calendar on the 26th, because it's a miracle we're having a calendar on Boxing Day. But so I'm not sure if we'll have the necessary attorneys, but I'll just put him there just to get a status.
We just don't recognize Boxing Day here.
Oh, get gifts. Okay. All right, position 11, Keith Thomas is released and further notice. Position 12, Troy Beaver is released and further notice. And position 13, Whitener is $1,000 surety. Reset date is December 26th. And Ashley Williams is a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, level 1, further notice. And position 1 on the add-on is a $4,000 split bond. He's already posted on his surety bond. So on count 4 is going to be $1,000 signature bond through the jail.
You here tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much. Enjoy your Friday. I do apologize for the delay. We'll do better tomorrow.
Your Honor,
Mm.
I'm so sorry. There's somebody named Beth who was apparently asked to join this Zoom. If we could just address that.
We have another person on iPhone. I have no idea who they are. Beth, if you'd like to let us know who you are and how we may help you.
I received an email asking to be on this Zoom call yesterday, but I've never been arrested or on any side of any sort of criminal activity, so I don't
Well,
understand.
That's good news.
Yeah, I know that is good news. Thank
All
you.
right. In that case, you're free to go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
iPhone, if you want to unmute and start your video, how may we help you? All right, no response. Can't help them. All right, everyone, y'all have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you.